Hey, how's it going, Mr. Kyle, Myers Mathematics? And let's just jump right into it. So, where does the completing the square formula come from anyways? I don't know if you've like wondered it, like why do we need to have this extra formula? And not to mention it's not on those nice formula sheets we like to get for, the end of the year test for like geometry, and then also for like SAT and stuff like that. You normally don't see the formula. So like sometimes if you're like me, you're like, oh man, another formula to memorize. But if I could just know like where it comes from, it might make more sense, right? So that's what I'm here to accomplish for you today, is to help you to understand where it comes from. And it's actually really easy. So that's why I even bothered making a video about it. Sometimes when teachers try to prove where something comes from, it's like this long, drawn out thing, and you're just more confused than when you started. And you're like, but that doesn't help. This is going to help. Okay, that's why I'm doing this, because I really think this will help. I think this will make it make a little bit more sense. And then if you forget where it comes from, you can derive it really easily. Okay, you can just go back and be like, okay, what does it mean to actually factor? And then if you just remember what it means to just do a basic factoring, then you'll be good to go. So what you need to do is, well, let's just start with an example. So let's say we have x squared plus 6x plus 9. Right? So if I want to factor this, okay, I need to start with the ending number. I want to start with my 9, and I want two things that multiply to give me 9. Okay? So 3 and 3 multiply to give me 9. Okay, so that's important to remember. Something times something has to give me 9. In this case, it's 3 and 3, and the 3 and the 3 work because I also have to have the two numbers add to give me 6. All right, so I'm going to write that off to the side. I need two things, two numbers that multiply to 9, and they just happen to be 3 and 3. And then I need the same numbers, 3 and 3, to add to 6. Okay? And they have to be the same number if I'm completing the square. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this factoring problem here. What you would do is you just say, okay, I have 3 and 3, so I'm just going to add some x's in front, and then I'm done. Right? That's it. No mas. So a lot of times they like to see it, in a nicer form. So you write it like this, and just write that there's a square there. So that's a nice way to put that. But let's get down to what we're actually talking about here. So if I have some random thing, right, x squared, and by the way, I'm not putting an a in front if you were wondering here, because x squared plus bx plus c. You've maybe remembered that there was sometimes an a in front here, ax squared plus bx plus c. But whenever we're completing the square, we're assuming there's nothing in front of the x squared. Or if there is, you have to divide it out in order to use the formula. Okay? So we're assuming there's no number in front of x squared, right? Which obviously means there's a 1, but you know what I mean. So what we need is we need two numbers that multiply to 9, in this case c, right? Because we're generalizing. So we need two numbers, let's say like p and q, but we need them to be the same number. So I need some sort of number p and some other number p times p. Okay, so p equals c, or p squared, right? Like 3 and 3 give me 9, or 3 squared equals 9. So p squared equals 9. If I were to take the factors, if they're the same factor and I square it, then I get c. Those same factors, whatever they are, p and p, they have to add to give me the middle term, right? The same numbers have to add to the 6, the middle term. So this would be 2p equals b. All right, that's the only confusing part. We're almost already to the formula. So check this out. All you need to do is if you forget the formula, which we're going to get to in just a second, all you have to do is remember like, hey, I need to multiply something by itself to get c, right? So something squared, and then something else has to be added to itself. So 2 times something, and then something squared. Okay, now here's the magic. I have two formulas. I'm going to do substitution method. I'm going to divide by 2. divide by 2, p equals b over 2. And you can already start to see what's going to happen here. I'm going to substitute p in right here. Right, so here's p. B over 2 is equal to p, right? And then I square it, and then I get c. There it is. There is the magic formula. That's it. That's the magic formula. B over 2 quantity squared equals c. So all you need to do is just remember that whenever you're factoring and you're doing completing the square, you need the same two numbers to multiply to c, and you need the same two numbers to add to give you the b, the middle term. Okay? So then you can create the formula from scratch just from that. All right, so something squared equals c, and then something times 2, or something added to itself, equals the b term. All right, that's all you need. So this has been Mr. Kyle at Myers Mathematics, or Mr. Myers, or whatever you want to call me, your personal private tutor through the medium of YouTube, at least for right now. So hey, I have on my website a guide to basically a way to not miss math mistakes at all ever again. It's not a guarantee because that's kind of a high goal, but it's a really good guide and it'll help you a lot to understand why you're missing math problems, why you miss the math problems that you do, and I boil it down to 5 things. There's only 5 different reasons why people miss the math problems that they do. So I boil it down to those 5 things, and I tell you what you can do to overcome those 5 issues that everybody has. For instance, one of them is signs. Everybody messes up on their signs, and I show you how to not mess up on your signs. Okay, so go check that out. It's a free guide. It's on my website, myersmathematics.com, all spelled out. It'll be at the start of that page there, and I'm working on automating that process. So once I get that set in motion, you'll receive that automatically. All right. And as always, if you like this video, give it a like, give it a subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and give me a comment down below if you want to see another video or video of some kind.